Hey guys, I'm Joey and I'm currently a senior at MBS, and at MBS we have a class called TED, which is where we watch TED Talks and discuss them and answer the 7 conversational questions. So for our homework we were instructed to create a TED Talk of our own, and since I ride horses, I figured it would be best to talk about the psychology of horseback riding. Anxiety is one of the hardest things for an equestrian to overcome because you go in the ring and you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. Somebody could jump out from the stand and your horse could spook, your horse could stop, you could fall off. However, it can be managed, and today I'm going to be talking about 3 things that can help you manage it. The first one's ideal motor training. The second one is goal setting with like mental rehearsal as well. And the third one is hypnosis, which isn't very commonly known of. Riders ride best with their right brains because they're riding more on their feel rather than thinking like analytically about every move that they're going to do. Ideal motor training is also known as body-mind response method or self-talk. The goal with that is to come up with a word, and as you're going around the ring, be able to use that word in order for another to have a reaction to it mentally. So an example would be a rider riding around the ring, and if they're super tight, like wanting to pull on the reins, then they would say or think the word loose, and their body is seemingly becoming loose. This method also works for certain emotions and attitudes that are reflected in the rider's behavior. And it's important to, when using ideal motor training, is to use your word prior to whenever you need it. So like you need to practice with your word. My specific word for while I'm riding is butter, to have all my thoughts melt away. It's cheesy, but it does work. Another thing with self-talk is that you cannot say the word don't. If you say the word don't, the human brain doesn't have a mental representation for that. So when you're saying don't, like don't look at that black horse, you're mentally telling yourself to go look at that black horse. The same things for don't pull, don't leg, don't, all the things with don't. Don't do it. Don't say don't. In short, also don't say can't, won't, shouldn't, couldn't, because your brain doesn't have a mental representation for that word. Another great tool to improve your mental game while riding is mental rehearsal, which is also visualization. So the goal with that is to come up with a bunch of mini goals and that lead to you achieving something big in the big picture, and visualizing yourself achieving that goal. So when you're visualizing, it's from a GoPro point of view, and you have to have the whole shebang. So you have to have the crowd in the background, you have to have the smell, you have to have the way your horse feels, all 5 senses. So with mental rehearsal, it produces small muscle contractions that are similar to when you're doing the actual thing. Riding, a good amount of it is muscle memory, because over time you're doing the same thing over and over again, and your body seemingly becomes, does that. And so, how many times have you jumped a long run oxer? 1,000,000,000. So at this point, it's just a matter of yourself achieving that goal in that moment with that mindset, with the pressure, all the above. So say you keep having, or you constantly have trouble seeing your distance to the long run or the last jump of the course, especially when it's a long run. So you have to first imagine yourself getting around the corner correctly, then you have to imagine yourself at the right pace, and then you have to visualize yourself going towards the jump, sitting up, looking up, and then finally you can visualize yourself jumping the jump. But you have to accomplish the little goals first in order to accomplish the big picture. A final tool to improve your mental game is hypnosis. With hypnosis, it triggers your right brain and makes it more comfortable for you to step into that right brain in your competitive zone. Each clinic starts with the hypnotician asking you a series of questions before you finally begin with hypnosis. It's ideal for getting into the zone and achieving your peak performance. These 3 things can only work with practice and dedication to your word, to visualizing, or to being hypnotized. You have to truly believe in it in order for it to actually work, as well as practice outside of these 3 things. These things can help even the most anxious riders prosper by tapping into their mental skills and allowing them to ride with their right brain, and in order to prosper in the ring and feel comfortable and like they can do whatever it may be. I hope you found this talk interesting. I know these 3 things have helped me a lot with my riding, especially at big competitions, and I hope they can help you too. Thanks for watching.